Chloe Madeley has opened up about the end of her marriage to James Haskell as she admits it's a slap in the face when people say they are rooting for them to get back together. The couple, who share one-year-old daughter Bodhi together, announced back in October that they had mutually decided to separate after almost 10 years together, and 5 years of marriage. However, since their split, fans have been left confused over their true relationship status, with many questioning whether Chloe and former rugby player James have secretly reunited, the Mirror reports. Despite speculation from fans that they may have rekindled their romance, Chloe, 26, has insisted that it feels awful when others assume that her and James are on and off again. The 36-year-old told OK! Magazine, "I feel very strong and very brave as she is currently lapping up her new life." Despite a rough end to 2023, the star has said she has no regrets over their decision to split and is looking forward to creating her new path with little Bodhi. Speaking of the breakdown of her marriage with James, she admitted that their relationship had just stopped being good, leading them to call it quits in September after nearly 5 years of marriage. The pair announced their split a month later, insisting it was mutual and they would continue to co-parent with nothing but love. Chloe added, "If you think of relationships, you have pillars in place to hold them up, and I think we just found we didn't have enough there to hold us up anymore." The dedicated mom of one is now focusing on maintaining a positive outlook in the new year, as she confessed that separating from James was the right decision for their family. She said, "Since James and I made the decision to draw a line under it, I've felt really free, happy and calm." Despite feeling a sense of relief now, she did admit that their split was really hard. She added, "The statement was really rushed. I didn't want to release it at all for as long as possible. So that was a really awful day, probably the worst one so far." The former couple were also accused of faking their separation as a publicity stunt, which is something Chloe said she found deeply hurtful. She said, "I live my life through honesty, so reading that was really hard. It's hurtful that people would think I would ever do that, and with a child involved, too. We had a really hard summer. That was the hard bit of it when we were going through it and trying to figure it out. James and I are both quite tenacious and positive people. The couple had a tough summer trying to figure things out together, but things became quite bad when James' newfound DJ career took off while Chloe was heavily pregnant. This meant that James, 38, spent a lot of time away from home in party destinations such as Ibiza, which led to multiple arguments. However, Chloe has now insisted that this was not the sole reason behind their split. She said, "The hardest time was the summer when it was all breaking down. I really struggled and I was not in a good place, to be honest. But I would say by and large I've felt so much better since we decided to call it a day."